Peace and love, everybody. Peace and love. What's going on? KKK Rally. Yes, another video. So, I've been doing some research, sitting in the house reading, and it feels like once I start looking into a little bit more of the whole Saturn, Saturnella, the L's, then I've been finding out that Saturn and Pluto is going to be in retrograde near the end of this year, around December the 16th. Then a lot of stuff making sense. That's been brought to my attention ever since I was a kid. Not nothing that was told to me, but something that was just known to since I was reincarnated back in this cycle. That something that I know about 2020. Yeah, man, a lot of stuff going on. I haven't really been looking at the news, but the last 11 days, 13 days, 11 days, they're talking about, like, how many tornadoes passed through here? A lot of tornadoes. And it's going through Ohio. Let me see. I believe it's Ohio, something over there. But they was trying to do some type of pep rally with KKK and oh yeah. And I saw someone post Shango said no to that, and they cut that down quick. They got tornadoes the past 13 days going through the countryside up there. So, and as of today, it is like, March, believe like 29th, near the 30th, but, so if you've been looking at the news during this time, whenever I post this, you should know what I'm talking about the tornadoes is going through. I was not aware of, because I was not paying attention to the news. I really don't watch mainstream news. I've really just been in my own little studies. But when I was brought to my attention, like, okay, so everything is lining up for 2020. Lots of destruction coming up. A lot of people talking about they're seeing sights of fiery objects in the sky and the Bureau and all that stuff. And it's coming, folks. A lot of stuff's coming. So we got to be aware of what's happening. With Pluto represents Anubis. Anubis is the underworld. He represents going through the underworld. He guides you through the underworld. Or Pluto will be Hades or whatnot. Funny enough, Pluto faces smudged on there because, Pluto, it was named Pluto because the person who found it loved Pluto. So, but at the same time, Pluto's energy is going to be tag teaming with Saturn, because Saturnelle is the time machine, time matrix, father of time, Satan. So, and with Pluto, which is, representing the underworld, going into the dark. If you look at this from a Kabbalah standpoint, you got the dark is going to be right up here, and Pluto right up here on this side, and the dark will be right here. So we're going to be having a lot of, and the sun wants to play. Yes, we see you, man. We see you. So basically, we're going to be seeing a lot of stuff going on, man. A lot of stuff going on with this. And you know, it's funny because once I start talking about Saturn, I've been seeing a lot of other videos coming up on YouTube talking about Saturn. And I've seen a young woman, Ashira, star goddess, whatnot. She's talking about Saturn. Then I was looking at the real Merkaba, and he made his video about the Saturn and you know how that links to Hollywood and all this stuff. And you got a lot of stuff out there already. If you just take the time to look about the black cube, Saturn have a shape on top of its spirit. It's a light spirit. Everything's a light spirit. Like I said, you know, you have the top of the light spirit. You got a pentagram. You got the or people like to say it's the Star of David, but it's right on top of Saturn. Everything goes back to Saturn. Our religions go back to Saturn. And it's funny, once again, I be breaking down religion and all that stuff, but it all points right back to Saturn. Even the Egyptian had Saturn as the first sun. Saturn, father time. You couldn't get away from time, but therefore that's why they was trying to mummify people so they can escape this matrix, escape the time. Because El, the God Yahweh, or you know, El Shaddai, he's the father of the living, not father of the dead. That's why he puts you back in this matrix to go back and do this over again. It's the living. This is the land of the so-called living. But once you go into the dark, the underworld, or inner earth, shoot out, you magnetize into a higher vibration where you can exit into out of the, you know, so-called Van Allen belt. Van Allen even got L in it too, E-L. So you can't get away from the L. E-L. That's why I got Ellen all on TV. Everyone worship Ellen. The L. So, and you got everyone worshiping the L's, the Michaels, the L's. Not saying that these names are bad. I'm just saying they all tie back into Saturn. Because these were the angels, the archangels of light. And around Saturn, who was the first light bringer, you have all the moons. And each of these moons can be a representation of a messenger. Because you can look at some of these names of the moons around Saturn, and you can pull these names and look at different gods and messengers throughout our civilizations. I don't have the names with me. I was just looking at some, but you know, I try to pull Plato, I think one of them. I try to remember what the names. There's so many moons around Saturn. You know, satellites, which is Satan lights, which is Saturn. You know, Saturn lights, which are small objects that send signals. So you have all these moon bases or whatnot that send signals. You know, the moon that circles around Earth is like it's a moon base that works for Saturn. Sends back signals, sends us signals. So everything goes around Saturn. The sun that goes around us not even is not the original. Even though the original sun goes back to Isis, that's why you get Israel, or you get Genesis, which is the genes of Isis. So you get all that. It's all part of this matrix. We have to know who and where all of your energy going to. You have to understand that this is the time Metatron light cube matrix box that we're stuck in. And we're not actually stuck in it. We can get out. Those when you mummify people and put them inside of the pyramid, those pyramids where stargates were able to was shooting you up into those stargates. That's why they all aligned perfectly. Your soul went through that light beam straight to the stargate, straight up. So you were not, stuck down here and having to do by chance, having to face Saturn if you were not, if you were just, I lost my train of thought. I was looking at my mom walk through. Okay, so basically, you were mummified priests, people who were educated, who knew this knowledge mummified, and they could shoot through and trick the God of the living, thinking that their body was still alive because it did not rot. Once your body rot, he know, that person's dead, I need to bring them back to life. But if your body's mummified, it's still in a state of looking half alive still. So your soul can shoot out and escape and get past him, trick him. Almost if you get into the whole Yoda broth and that whole thing. Yeah. Looking at my mom pouring off. She could be getting her some food or something. Alright. So, Yoda broth, same thing. The blind God. Yoda broth is a representation of the sun, you see. And he blinds us because he's the blind God. He don't know anything is up above him. There's more to him than just him. There's a lot more above him. And that's how that is taught in the Gnostics. But it's letting you know there's more. That the religions that is placed upon us is a overbearing, thick, shining. Well, there you go. The sun just went down a little bit. But if I was trying to capture it again, give you like a little no idea what I'm talking about, but you got it. Overbearing. So all that, but the sun, soul is, and then but you can look at the sun as your soul, and then you look at the moon as phases that we go through. But everything have different meanings of how you can go about it. But the moon definitely, of course, is very much tied to the genes splicing of humans, of these humans. And I do remember through my meditations and my recallings of seeing the splicing being done. The Anunnakis, the originals people who were here first, who I am, one of the few, Atlanteans and all of them, who was trying to keep this information sacred, but then you had those as what the Bible would say, of Cain blood, who perverted the information. But yeah, and then now you got all this trouble going on, and see, the pyramids where Stargate was allowed us to go amongst different stars and travel. But see, now you got these elite families who were stricken from their melanin because from ISIS. These elite families who made deals with these other star races, keeping us back from who we were trying to. But like I said, a lot of stuff going on this year. A lot of destruction is going to be happening. And you're going to be seeing our ancestors showing out because it's time. That second sun's coming closer too. And they're trying to spray these chemtrails, trying to hide it. But they're not going to keep it away from the people because they're going to see it really soon. You always see a couple of people already posting videos about the second sun, two suns, all this stuff. So, I mean, we gotta be looking out for some signs of destructions and this happening. And right now, America is getting whooped by these tornadoes, and it's not going to stop from there. Pretty soon, we're going to have some earthquakes. We're going to have some nasty stuff going on. And it's already shown on that Illuminati card about the Yellowstone Volcano. If that goes south, I mean, that's pretty much what people will call in the Bible Armageddon. Fiery stones. How the Bible always had fire falling from the sky and destroying nations. That was around Middle East, so-called Middle East, was Africa. But you know how that is. It wasn't really called Africa either. All the nations were, was one, and then it spread apart. But anyway, that was around areas where there was volcanoes and stuff. Whenever you hear Yahweh destroying Sodom and Gomorrah, volcanoes blew up and destroyed the city, basically, sulfur. And now you got people going around near that area saying, well, it really happened. There's sulfur here. They're like, come on, man. Come on, man. You think that we can't create a reenactment of something off of the Bible? And then we got like little small dig sites, like randomly small dig sites. Come on, man. It's all fake. Just like the Israel, just like those people over there. They're all not really Israel, because Israel is, like I said, ISIS, the ones who got the star in them, the one who has the star spark, like Transformers. We got the all spark in us from ISIS, and then from Ra representation of the soul, the sun, the solar complex, that fuel that's inside your belly. Or their heart, we got that light in our heart. Of course, the L's, which is the electrons, which is the L's, the spears, the light spears around us in the sky, the lights. That's why you see L's all around you. You see light spears. You see different color lights. Those are spirits. And not all spirits are here to do any harm or just, some spirits, like I said, there's no such thing as good and bad in the case of duality, but you must align yourself accordingly. You gotta make sure you do that. So, like I said, it's all, I know I probably went around a lot of stuff, but the L's, the angels of light, angles of light, the L's, Saturn L, all that. It's playing big, because it's going to be big this year. Because you got Saturn, Father Time, with Pluto, which is Anubis, which is the underworld. So, and you already know, you talk about CERN and all of them trying to open up portals. So, you're gonna have a lot of spiritual energy going on. So this year, and going to end of this year, 2020, which is open eye vision. Things are gonna be opening up. And I had this proclamation told to me since I was a kid in my dreams, of when I be dreaming. I be waking up, I'm like, wow, what's this mean? But see, I was a kid, but now it's coming to fruition, like, okay, 2020. Something big about 2020 coming up. And of course, you know how the Hebrews say it's the end of a 400-year prophecy or whatnot. And then you got the whole Kachina, the red and the blue sun, the Kachina thing from the Native Americans, the red Kachina, coming in and destroying the false ones, the ones that cause all this trouble. You got a lot of prophecy, but they all aligned up. But you know, I believe things are going to be ramping up, and not trying to not know like doomsday type stuff, but you know, I'm saying that you know, the spirits, you know, things have to come back around full circle. You know, the guys have to come back around and set things. You know, we're gonna set things back. You know, they're not gonna keep ISIS back, because they're trying to kill the mother ISIS, give her a bad name, the government, and they know that too. And you know, she ain't happy. So that's why that second sun, or the sun's gonna be getting brighter and hotter, burning them up. They're gonna try to go underground, where they made deals with these, you know, reptilians and all that stuff. But you know, that's what that is. But Saturn, the L's, you know, that's why I want to make this video, because I've seen a lot of stuff so far popping up. I've been reading about this for this week. This has been my study for this week. Apparently, how it just, I'm not sure why or how it happened like that, but it did. I like, okay, well, let me go ahead and make my first video about this for this so far for this year. But it won't be the last one this year. This is just my first one about Saturn L and then the upcoming retrograde and the energy shift that's going on right now. Because I've seen so much people waking to their consciousness, their own selves, and not coming out of just what people tell them, oh, what you're supposed to believe in. People coming into their own self-knowledge or self-worth, which is beautiful. That's what you're supposed to be doing. And I love it. It's a beautiful thing. Alright, so, and I think that's about wrap up this video. But my next video about this, I'm gonna bring out some notes. I'm gonna show you about how all this is. And if you're not on my Facebook, go on my Facebook and check me out too, because I'm be on there a lot talking about all these type of stuff. All right, this is Kachi Ra once again. Peace and love, everybody.